Thank you. Welcome, everyone, especially those that were here late last night with us. Thanks for coming back. Great moment, Sixers franchise. Love to welcome Matisse Thybulle. Great to have him. Solid player. He's going to grow. He's going to be the 3-and-D player that we need. He can shoot the ball. Defensive player of the year. So excited to add him to this team. With his great fit and what he's going to do for us. So with that, we'll open up for questions.
Serena Winters, NBC Sports Philadelphia. Welcome, Matisse. Hey, I know you said last night that you were still trying to convince yourself that you weren't dreaming. Does it still feel like you're in that? And what are just the emotions going through your mind as you're sitting up there right now?
I think it might feel even more like a dream now. Like walking through the facility, sitting next to this guy, it's crazy to say because you always imagine you dream of being in this position, but to actually be there is pretty surreal.
Keith Pompey, the Philly Inquirer. What's up, man? So, what was the most surreal thing about walking through this facility, just being here?
I said the locker room, just seeing that I got a place in the locker room with this team, because that's the facility is incredible. It's beautiful, but just knowing that I have my place here amongst it all, it's pretty cool.
Mark Narducci, the Philadelphia Inquirer. Elton, how early in the process did you guys have your eye on him, and was he the guy you went into really focusing on getting?
Yeah, Mark. So actually, we've been following him for the last 4 years as a staff. Last 2 years, got to meet with him in April, saw his workout, and fell in love. Interviewed him. High character guy. That's what we need to add to our team. And his on the court stuff just blew me away. His speed, his agility, his sense of the ball on defense, and where he's growing as an offensive player. So after that workout, I was blown away.
This question, a little bit of a follow-up. Jason Blevins from the Painted Lines. It seemed like both of you talked last night about connecting pretty early and focusing in on each other. Matisse, you said that once you met with the team, you sort of locked in on the Sixers. What was it about this organization that just made you sort of stop all the workouts?
What's not to like? They're a great team, great coaches, it's across the board. It's just throughout the season, just being a basketball junkie, watching basketball, I've watched Philly and just keeping track of their success and been like, wow, it would be incredible to be a part of something that great. And then when that became a reality and they made it clear that they were interested, I was like, yeah, there's nothing else I'd rather be a part of than this.
Yes, and we were very interested. All the decisions about workouts and things like that. His agent, Aaron Goodwin, I've known him a long time, and his family, and Matisse, that's their decision, but I know I really liked him a lot. So when we saw him on the board, a few other players in our box that we liked were gone, and he was our target. We had to move up to get him, whatever it took, dealing with whatever team. I had to get it done.
Matisse, Kai Carlin, Sixers Wire. You're joining a team right now that has championship aspirations. What can you bring to the floor right now to help this team achieve that goal?
I think I mentioned earlier, just 3-and-D. Just being able to get out there and guard, something I take pride in, something I've done throughout college, and then just being able to be an outlet and be a threat from the three-point line. And then on top of that, just being able to get out in transition where these guys thrive and just being able to wreak havoc out there.
Matisse, Paul Hudrick, NBC Sports Philadelphia. So your first 3 years at Washington, you shot the ball exceptionally well. From three, you were just below 40%. Last year, you hovered more around 30%. Was there a reason for that? You think you just kind of had an off year? Or?
It could be a combination of things. I felt personally with my role on the team that I had to make certain sacrifices to try and help us win. And I think with those sacrifices, we had a pretty good result. We had a really successful season, and I just felt like, for me, my role wasn't going to be trying to take over offensively. It was going to be just be a team player, be a glue guy, and just be able to do what I was able to do on the defensive end to just make it hard for their teams.
Matisse, how you doing? Donald Hunt, Philadelphia Tribune. Listen, you were in school for 4 years, man. How much did that help you in terms of your development? Because a lot of guys come out in 1, 2, and that sort of thing, but you stayed for 4 years.
Yeah. Well, I considered leaving early, and I considered it seriously. But that was one of the things that when I sat down with my family and we discussed it, was that I want to be able to contribute right away when I get here. I don't want to be a whole work in progress, and so I felt like if I stay another year, I'd get another year better, have another year under my belt, and just be that much more ready to show up when I get here.
Matisse, John Johnson, KYW News Radio, Sports Radio 94 WIP. So a lot of Philadelphia fans don't know a whole lot, didn't see a whole lot of Washington basketball, just read the stat lines and maybe a few highlights. Is there something you can tell them about yourselves that maybe the stat lines don't say?
I mean, the stats say defense, but I think on top of that, just I take pride in doing whatever it takes to win, and whatever that means for my role is what I'm gonna hang my hat on. So.
Brian Seltzer with the Sixers. What were you doing, even though you might have been not have been doing team workouts the last couple weeks, month? Like, what were you doing? How are you staying in shape, keeping yourself fresh?
Oh, I mean, you're a basketball player. You still play basketball. So I mean, I've been working out every day. I mean, been in the weight room on the court, and just trying to do what I can to get better every day. Because I feel like that, as a basketball player, that's my job now. So that was my goal going through it all. And even though I wasn't working out for teams, it didn't mean I had an excuse not to work out.
Keith again. But when you took their word, but in the back of your mind, were you a little like, oh man, I hope this works out. I hope this works out. Was you a little fearful of that?
I mean, with anything, there's a certain level of risk, but I felt like we developed a good enough relationship where there's enough trust and I had enough confidence in it, and I didn't feel like I had to worry. So come draft night, I was just excited.
Elton, Mark Narducci, the Philadelphia Inquirer. You and Vince Rosman, everybody had said in the pre-draft process that you were looking at experienced players that can maybe come in and contribute. The 2 players you drafted fit that mold. I mean, obviously, how important was that for you guys?
It's very important. You know, we have championship aspirations, and you look around the league, you look in the past, you don't see many teams that win championships with a lot of rookies that are contributing. But you know, we got some extra assets to protect our future for possible trades or possible growth, and we have 5 young players that we're developing. So you know, Jonah Bolden, Matisse, we got Zaire Smith, Shake. You know, we have a lot of young talent that's going to get better and grow. So when we do get to where we need to get to and get that championship, we're not going to dive off a cliff. We're still developing, and we do have assets to keep us in the hunt for years to come. So I feel good about where we are as an organization.
Matisse, Jason Blevins, Painted Lines. Going to your defense, looks like you had a 2-to-1 steals and blocks to personal fouls ratio. Your ability to stay out of foul trouble while being aggressive on defense, is that part of zone defense, or is that something that you've taken as a focus?
It was a learned thing. If you look at my first few years in college, you see I fouled out of most games, and felt like staying out of foul trouble was a struggle for me. So I just had to, I mean, like with anything, with experience, and like I said, staying was something I was trying to just be able to learn and grow as a basketball player, and that was a part of it. Just being able to do what I'm able to do defensively, but do it for longer times by staying out of foul trouble. Because there was a lot of games where I'd hurt the team because I'd be in foul trouble and couldn't play. So I'd go into this season, I wanted to take some pride in being on the floor as much as I can, and that meant staying out of foul trouble.
Okay. Matisse, how you doing? Donald Hunt, Philadelphia Tribune again. Can you talk about passing Gary Payton, because he was an absolute legend in the Pac-10. Well, now it's the Pac-12, and he was known as the Glove.
Yeah. No. Me and him had talked about it, and when I was creeping up on his record, I could tell he's getting nervous. But it's cool. I mean, going into the season, people were asking me obviously if I was going to try and break his record, and I looked at those numbers. And I'm like, honestly, I don't want to think about it because I don't think it's possible. But as the season went on, I just took it a game at a time. And I mean, to think that I'm in the conversation with guys like him and Jason Kidd for a single season steals record, like, it's pretty special. And I mean, I'm not sure if I belong, but I'm starting to feel like it a little bit now. But it's an honor.
Hi, Matisse. Sarah Todd, Philadelphia Inquirer. I'm wondering if you've heard from any of the current Sixers, if anybody has reached out to you, if you've heard anything. And then on top of that, have there been any texts or calls from somebody that like sticks out to you that was like a special moment last night hearing from that person?
I don't think so. I mean, as I'm sure people know, on draft night, your phone kind of blows up. So if any of them have, I'm sorry if I haven't responded yet, because things have just been a little bit hectic. But no, I'm not sure yet.
Hey Matisse, Lauren Rosen with the Sixers. What do you think about Joel and Ben, and how excited are you to play with them?
I mean, those are incredibly talented guys, and I mean, just watching them throughout the season, they're so fun to watch, and they have fun out there, and that's something that I think is great, and I think is huge within basketball. And I know in college it's something we focused on, and just thinking that I can be a part of that and be a part of their family and the Sixers family, and get out there and have some fun with them is exciting.
Last one, Rich.
Rich Hoffman, The Athletic. Elton, you said that you had scouted Matisse for 4 years. Was there anything that stood out between underclassmen Matisse to the player you saw, this year?
Yeah, the group has scouted him. Me, I've been really following the last 2 years, but just his growth and development, defensively, his instincts. We talked about him breaking Gary Payton's record. Just a special person. When I got to sit down with him and learn how he loves photography, he's so high character. He just wants to work, and his love of basketball and what we need in Philadelphia in this organization. It was a no-brainer if we could get him. I didn't know if he'd be there, but just glad we could make it to get him.
Thanks, John.